Kelly. Should we tell it on the late Eddie?
Sure.
Okay, I'll start with that. I'll bust in Thursday with the other story. So I did not know where Bill's parents lived, and many years ago I lived down the street. And the Littles, Tommy and Elizabeth Little, lived around the corner from your parents. I didn't know that. I mean, I knew Tommy and Elizabeth. And she had her baby. I don't even remember which one. And she was up late feeding, of course. We were talking on the phone. I'd made a casserole, so it probably was burned, but it was not salmon patties. And as we talked late at night, which you have to know that it's late at night, Elizabeth was like, I'm up. If you just want to go ahead and run that casserole to me.
How late was it?
Bring it. 10:30.
Okay.
So your parents go to bed early.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's back up a bit. This was in the year that Ford made the Excursion, which we're just going to rename the Land Yacht. Okay? That thing was like a semi-truck. Can't imagine what the gas would cost.
Small street, Northwood Street.
Right. So I, for some reason, own an Excursion. And the Kelly, I don't know if you remember the Excursion. They don't make them anymore. The side mirrors are the size of your Prius. Okay? Okay, because that's leading up. So I throw the casserole in the front seat and turn down. And Bill's parents, their street is super narrow. Let's be honest.
It
It's
is.
a one car.
It is.
It is. It's a one car
One way.
throwaway. Going there, no problem. Super dark. They don't have any lights on the side. Super dark. So I'm good. I probably ran over a curb. I get to Elizabeth's. We chat. I look and coo over the baby. Get back in the car. It's probably 10:42 at this point. Okay? And I'm coming back. It's, again, super dark. And a car turns off of Grandview. And I'm going back towards Grandview. And I get nervous that I'm going to hit the car. So I ease that big dog over to the right. Well, your daddy's, I think it was a decorative mailbox, too.
Yeah, probably Mississippi State or something.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, bam!
Wow.
I mean,
Flat.
y'all, as I hit the brakes, it wasn't even standing. I couldn't see anything. So, of course I'm dying. I'm by myself. And it's dark, and the lights are off. And I don't know who lives there. And I'm
Right.
like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So I just go home.
Wait, I thought you left a note or
I
something.
said, wait, because
Oh.
I go, don't spoil it.
I'm sorry.
So I go home.
Okay.
And I am dying because I don't do that to people, but I didn't know who lived there, if they were going to beat me up. You don't go knock on someone's
No.
front door at 10:40 something at night.
True.
So I go home and I tell, who's now the ex-husband, that I've done this. And he was like, well, we got to make it right. I said, well, I'm going to write a letter. And I would put it in the mailbox in the morning, but there's no mailbox. I'm going to tape it to their front door. I'm going to give them our name and number, and I'm going to tell them to call me, and I will fix it.
Right.
So I have no idea it's your dad and that y'all have a radio show.
Right.
So I tape it on the door. Well, little do I know, Jim Anderson, the wonderful, fabulous, since retired Jim Anderson builder, is working on my home. He and Joanne are obviously avid listeners to your dad. Your dad takes the letter to work. I don't know this. Reads my letter on air, which is,
Yeah.
and finishes that up with, I don't have to purchase the mailbox. I had said I will be happy to replace the mailbox, have someone put it back up.
Fine.
He reads on there. I have no clue. I'm lollygagging in the Excursion, nervous now all the time. And Jim Anderson calls me and says, he knew immediately it was me. He said, oh, Miss Cat. I said, what? He said, you have done mowed down, Mr. Eddie Smith's mailbox. I went, who? And then immediately I but your dad read that on air.
It is on the air
He
right
would
now.
not let me fix it. I did try. I called in. Jim told me to call in.
Oh, you did call?
Yes, and your daddy would not let me. He was very lovely. I do not recall who was on.
I
that
didn't
day.
know that you called in.
Yeah, I called in embarrassed and said I will be happy to replace
Oh, that's great.
that. And your dad said no. And his point was, most in today's world, maybe someone wouldn't have even thought about it.
Exactly.
And the sad thing is, it didn't even scratch my vehicle, but it took his mailbox out flat. And your dad read that letter on there. I don't remember what all I said.